Okay, when we want to color grade in Premiere or speed grade, first you need to white balance. So this image that I've come up with here, which is a bit of test footage that we've had, it's currently not going to be used in the final film. So what we're going to do is then color grade it so we can have a look at what kind of color contrast that we want, because in certain short films that you want different colors to contrast with other colors. So in a comedy you want deep saturated reds to invoke that kind of motion, or another classic short film love is using the color as both opposing colors of blue and orange. So in this I'm just going to show you how I can apply these cinematic looks to our footage and see if anything use. Because so first we're going to do a quick bit of white balancing. So if we see in this image, this is overly blue, and I can also see on my chart here that it's tending to move over to the blue and red range. So I want to bring them down. So first we need to look at our image, and then we need to bring down the offset. The offset is the total image. So if I just bring this down, and I want to bring these blue, green and red area here to the bottom here, so it doesn't bottom out, but I want them just touching, so it just reduces the amount of grain and clipping that we can get. So I've just brought that down a little while, and we really want to be looking at around in this area of anything that can be white. So this wall, I know when we were on shooting, was pretty white, so we don't want it to be totally white. If I did have a white balance card, I would have brought it with me and then shown that to the camera so we can instantly white balance, but this it would do because I know that's pretty white. So, and then what we want to be doing is click on it, and what it will tell us is the red, green and blue range. So here we can see it's pretty white balanced, but I want to bring down those blues predominantly, or either bring up the red. So I'm going to go over here and change its numbers. I want to change over the gamma, maybe bring up the reds a little while, because it also helps his skin tone. So we see here we want his reds to be pretty much dead on, because the skin tone is mainly red. I'll bring that up a little more, and as we can see that it's definitely affected it, so I want maybe a little bit more reds in this, and I think that will do. Yeah, that's looking pretty white balanced. So now we're going to add a style to it. So down here, obviously you have your filters. You don't really want to be using these. So what we want to be doing actually is changing the whole image's kind of look to it. So then we want to be going to the highlights here, and then changing these gain modules. So if I change the offset to a more, let's try a more orangey look, so or red and orange, or we could try increasing the saturation. So that's the first thing I want to be doing. So I want to increase this module here so I can see how big I could do. So I want to go to 100% and check this out. Mainly that is skin tones I'm worrying about, because I don't want these reds to come out too much, look like he's got a fever or something. At the same time, I want to be looking at this white wall and seeing if the reds get a little too distorted, go to the orange feature. Let's go to fit. And as you can see in this one, it's added a lot more pop to the image. But at the same time, I want to be looking at contrast, maybe bringing that down, or bring it up depending on, if he's wearing black, it's quite important to keep his blacks looking as dark as possible. So I can play with it and bring it down a little while, but I need to check that his blacks still stay the same. Just checking his blacks are on point. Yeah, it's still in the black level, so we're okay. Boost the input saturation as well, add a little bit more. Okay. So this is the more of the blue and orange style, and as you can see, obviously it's way too exposed and I'm going to have to bring it down, but if you can see that it adds a lot more punch to the image. And this is a classic one. Gold Sport seems to be used quite a lot. Or I could use the settings ready for film cameras, so I know that this was shot on a Canon 700D, so I can find the ones for these. And obviously that totally desaturates the image. I don't want to really be using this. And if we check this whole image out now, the whole image is now a little bit more punchy in the way it works, especially because we're trying to invoke the emotion that this guy's scared. So this one, Josh, the character Mort is playing, is running away from the doctor, so he's going to come down the stairs. And we want that kind of punchy emotion that he's scared. Okay, so that is why we add colour. Also, we can change it back and then change our colour scale, so I might want to add a little bit more orange to the image. And then I go, if I want a blue and orange set, I bring it down to the orange, blue as well.
Wait! What's wrong?
And then, obviously this is way too blown up, so I might want to bring down my oranges or move it back down to a more blue image. So as we can see here, obviously because he's wearing blue as well, you need to check what your film stock looks like and at the same time what the characters are wearing, so you may want to apply a mask here. So that's how we apply color grading, so that we can change the overall look of our whole image.